I hope you guys are all staying healthy, staying safe out there. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming to another video. Today I have your forecast for the week of September 14th through September 20th. And just before we get into the video, I want to give a quick disclaimer that my cat is up and active right now. I thought she'd be asleep, but she's not. So if you guys hear random noises in the background, that's what it is. Alright, let's dive into the video. So we start off this week with the Sun in Virgo trining Pluto in Capricorn on Monday the 14th. And this is a transformational type of energy. Anytime Pluto is involved, there's a sense of destruction and rebirth. So on Monday the 14th, you may feel this desire to kind of change up a certain element of your personality, kind of change your direction or where you've been going in life. Since this is a trine between the Sun and Pluto, this is not like some destructive force coming to like tear your life apart. This is more an opportunity for you to harness this energy if you choose to. If you want to kind of like remove old habits, kind of clear away, think like the phoenix emerging from the ashes. If you want to burn some stuff down in your life, this is the day to do so. All right, and then on Tuesday, the 15th, we have Venus in Leo squaring Uranus in Taurus. And this, unlike the trine on Monday, is a little bit less in your control and a little bit more challenging. Venus obviously is associated with love, romance, beauty, affection, money, values, etc. And Uranus is all about change, revolution, and innovation. So with those two energies squaring each other, and since especially they are both in fixed signs, the energy of Venus and Leo that you've been feeling for a while, like a dramatic, bold, affectionate, and almost performative show of love, will be challenged by Uranus, who's saying, maybe let's change this up, let's be more dramatic, let's go for a new partner, let's try something different. So there's definitely a conflict this day, but as with any other personal planet aspect, so anything that involves the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, Venus, or Mars, it's short-lived. So this isn't a change you have to make that will impact the rest of your life. Just notice that you may want to like spice things up on this day, or there may kind of be this internal like urge to break up with your partner or like invest your money in a different way. Understand that it's fleeting. If you want to go with it, you can, and if you don't want to, this transit only lasts for a day or two. And then we get to Thursday, which is kind of the main event for this week. First of all, we have our new moon of the month. This new moon is in Virgo. And on the same day, we have the Sun making a trine to Saturn in Capricorn. So this is a really interesting day because new moons usually bring about new beginnings, like you can set intentions, begin manifesting things. New moons are usually a time to start fresh, turn over a new page, and emerge anew. However, with Saturn playing in, there's a bit of restriction, a bit of kind of checking in on your intentions, like, is this actually realistic? Is this actually something you want to go for? It will require energy. Are you willing to put the energy into this goal to make it happen, or is it just kind of a daydream? Also with Saturn playing into this, as anytime Saturn gets involved, there's an element of restriction, of challenge, and kind of scaling back. So as we begin a new lunar cycle, you'll also kind of have this weight of checking on your decisions, making sure you're not taking on too much, and at the same time maturing a bit. Saturn is like, in the traditional astrological tradition, Saturn is the farthest out planet. It's the most mature. It can represent like the father or father time, Kronos, like the Titan god, whatever. So with your new moon intentions this month, you may set things about maturing, and it's not just kind of like frivolous, like, oh, I think I might want to do this, or this seems fun. It's like actually like, I'm going to manifest a budget sheet. I'm going to manifest being responsible and sticking to a sleep schedule, or habits I know will actually help me out and help me become my best. But anyway, to wrap up Thursday the 17th, new moon in Virgo, right next to the Sun, because new moons, the Sun and Moon are always right next to each other. And then this is also making a trine to Saturn. So challenges and kind of confronting our limitations in our human bodies, in the world we live in today, those will be felt a little bit more heavily this day. However, you can use those to grow, if that makes sense. Like learn what the rules are and then grow within those rules, or break them down. We do have some Uranus action this week, so if you do want to work on breaking the rules down, structures down, that's also an option as well. And then on Sunday the 20th, we have Mercury square Pluto. Mercury is zipping through the sign of Libra, moving super quickly. Mercury will get into Scorpio within the next 2 weeks, but for now, it's going to make a square to all of those planets in Capricorn, starting with Pluto. And so on Sunday the 20th, you will definitely feel conflict and like you can't get your message across properly because Mercury is fast-paced communication, kind of growing and evolving and moving forward, and Pluto wants to destroy. So as you're working on communicating and sharing your ideas and getting the message out, Pluto will want to kind of cut back and start fresh. This transit can indicate that you will be linking up with some obstacles or blockages or roadblocks that prevent you from speaking your truth, learning, communicating effectively, etc. But as with all squares, you can learn to channel this energy. You can use it to change up the way you communicate if you choose to do so. Because Mercury is in Libra, a very diplomatic and justice-oriented sign, you can figure out, am I speaking in a way that's just and true and speaks to my true values, or do I need to cut back, destroy, and then bring forth new ideas or new ways of communicating? Again, this is only one day, so you don't have to make super permanent transits, but just know that communication may be challenged on this day. That's all I have for the astrology for this week, so let's dive into your oracle cards so we can get some advice and words of wisdom for the week ahead. While I'm shuffling these cards, I do want to bring attention to the fact that Oregon is on fire right now. If you guys don't know, I live in Portland. I'm not directly impacted by the fires, but the smoke is kind of ridiculous right now. Like, I haven't been outside in few days, and normally I can see the West Hills from my apartment and I can barely see the building across the street. So I'm going to put a couple of links in the description box down below if you feel inclined to donate, if you have the money and resources. Please donate and please help out. And this also serves as your reminder to make sure that you are registered to vote, and please vote, because like climate change is real and this is just like one manifestation of it. I think we're going to get lightning storms next week or something. So if you guys don't want us to be our future, please vote. Yeah, register to vote. The link for that will also be in the description box down below. Speaking of voting, I was thinking about the Sun trine Saturn aspect we have this week. And Saturn is about limitations and existing power structures, as I've talked about before. But the thing is that when we work with the power of Saturn, like I was saying, we can figure out where the existing structures are and how to work within them, because the power of Uranus, which is very rebellious and radical and like interested in changing and destroying the system, we can use Saturn to actually work within the system. And one way to do that is voting, writing to your Congress people, making phone calls. These things are so important because like signing petitions are great, but what actually gets like politicians to listen is having their emails and phone lines flooded. So the 17th would also be a really good day if you do want to harness that power of Saturn to make change. Write some emails, make some phone calls, devote 1 hour of your day to do that. Make that part of your new moon ritual. Or maybe one of your new moon intentions is that you want to work every day to dismantle the current structure that we have by working within it, if that makes sense. All right, I've been shuffling for a while, so let me pick our first card. All right, the first card I picked is Love Your Dark Side Too. We've definitely had this one in a forecast before, but I just love this message so much. I think it's really important. In quarantine, and if you're in Oregon or California or Washington and you're being confronted by the wildfires, like previously in quarantine, I felt okay because I was able to go on my rooftop to do yoga, or I was able to go to the park and read and get outside. And now I'm truly quarantined, like stuck in my apartment all day, every day. And when you are alone with yourself, or even with family members or friends, it doesn't matter. Times like this that are really stressful force us to confront our dark side. And I just want to remind you to love your dark side too. It is beautiful and it makes you a whole and complete person. As I talked about in the forecast this week, we are kind of dealing with some of the more challenging planets. We're dealing with Saturn, we're dealing with Pluto, we're dealing with Uranus. Those want us to simultaneously change and destroy things, but also exist within the current power structures. And so with these dark forces at work, remember to love your dark side too. Remember that you are a whole and complete person with good and bad. And, sorry, I keep getting distracted, but love your dark side too. Understand that there's good and bad, and we need both to exist. There's good and bad in the world, there's good and bad within us, because we are a reflection of the world around us. But yeah, as we go through this week, as we continue, I think we're in month 6 of quarantine now, love your dark side too, hold space for your dark side, hold space for all emotions that you feel, and don't judge them. Simply accept, I have this wide range of emotions. Some of them I like more than others, some of them I feel better about than others, but it's all part of you and it's all worthy of love. All right, let's grab our next card. All right, I've never seen this card before and I absolutely love it. Our next one is Being Yourself is Sacred, which is so important. With the new moon this week, it's a really good time to get in touch with yourself and your inner power and recognizing everything that you bring to the table, because there's no one else in the world like you. I really fluctuate going back and forth on like each person is individual and unique, and most people are very ordinary. Like in high school, one of my religion teachers talked about how most people are not special at all. Like they're just exceptionally ordinary. And the thing is that, like, yes, I agree to an extent. I think that most people live very ordinary lives, but that does not mean that you are not special and extraordinary and sacred. Who you are and the power that you have to be anyone you want to be the best version of yourself, that is truly sacred and truly powerful. And so just be you. This kind of goes along with like the love your dark side too, because humans are such complex and interesting beings, and there's so much to discover within yourself, and just being you exactly as you are is pretty incredible. And so with this week, especially with our Venus square Uranus aspect, Venus tends to represent a more conventional standard of beauty, whereas Uranus is very unique and individual and kind of expressive in its own quirky way. So on Tuesday when we have that aspect, try embracing yourself. Maybe you want to dress a little bit differently. Maybe you want to do your makeup a little bit differently. Maybe you want to create a new appearance that is not as conventional but feels more true to you. Maybe this is a more internal personality type thing and you recognize that there's a certain way that you want to act in the world that aligns more with who you truly are on the inside, rather than aligning to some standard of beauty or attractiveness or good or worthiness. In any case, be yourself, because there is no one else like you, and each person has so many wonderful, unique gifts to bring to the table. No one is better or worse than anyone else, so just be you. Let's grab one more card. All right, our final card this week is I Am Connected to the Earth. I feel like the cards this week are very like internally focused. So this one is really important to remember, and especially when like the Earth is burning and there are weather storms across the country. I mean, like in the United States at least. Unfortunately I'm not super in tune with world weather right now, but I think it's really easy to think of the Earth as one entity and human beings as another. Like we are two completely distinct things. Like Earth is something that must be conquered or controlled by us. The Earth is its own thing and we're living on it, but we're not a part of it. But that is simply not true. We are part of Earth. We are connected to Earth. I mean, if you believe in astrology, like you probably understand that human beings are intrinsically tied to the Earth. Like we go through the same ups and downs as planet Earth does. We are connected to it. We're built of the same like molecules and atoms and structures that the Earth is. We are truly connected to the Earth, and I think that now, especially more than ever, when the Earth is literally like crying out to us saying like, I cannot hold you anymore, I cannot continue to provide for you like this is a really important time to remember that we are part of the Earth, not taking more than you need, limiting your like single-use plastic, reducing your meat and dairy consumption, doing what you can to help out the Earth. And so maybe also with your new moon in Virgo, because Virgo is an Earth sign, with your new moon in Virgo intentions, in addition to working within power structures, which is a very like Earth element type of thing, the Earth literally itself is also important to consider this week. And so maybe your new moon intentions, your intentions can be whatever you want, but maybe this week your new moon intentions involve writing letters to Congress and then also doing your part, because ultimately we cannot change the pace of climate change on an individual level. It needs to be done by big corporations, and governments need to put more laws into effect. And at the same time, there are things we can do on our own scale. So this week I encourage you to maybe have meatless Monday, or Monday's the only day you eat meat, or don't use single-use plastic items. Reduce it where you can. Buy in bulk instead of buying a bag of something. I'm sure anyone who's watching this video already knows these things, I just want to remind you to be extra careful of your consumption and reduce it where you can. Understanding that you cannot do everything on your own, and ultimately like big existing structures, thanks Saturn, will have to change. And at the same time, there are things you can do on a personal level. Also remembering that being yourself is sacred, and remembering to just do the best you can, because no one can ask for anything more than that. And love your dark side too. Your dark side is part of who you are. It can't be changed. It exists. And work on embracing it so that you can love yourself more holistically. Remember, you're connected to the earth, and you are not a distinct and separate entity, completely divorced from the earth. We are all interconnected in one way or another, and we need to take care of our earth. All right, this got a little bit more political than my videos normally get, but climate change shouldn't be political. So in any case, that is all I have for you this week. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for leaving a like and a comment and subscribing if you aren't already, and I will see you guys later. Bye.